Dear friends, it's day 904 of the unprovoked Russian invasion of Ukraine, and yesterday Moscovian invaders launched massive drone strike targeting Ukrainian infrastructure. Meanwhile, Ukrainian troops in Kursk Oblast captured 100 more Russian and Chechen prisoners. Russian citizens of Sudzha, abandoned by their government, received humanitarian aid from Ukraine, and a crazy Russian family abandoned their son for money. Let's talk about all this right now. Tonight, Russian terrorists attacked Ukraine using 3 missiles launched from Kursk region of Russia and 29 Shahed drones. All 29 drones were intercepted over Mykolaiv, Cherkasy, Kirovohrad, Kherson, Zaporizhia, Sumy, Chernihiv and Kyiv oblasts. No significant damage from the debris or casualties were reported this time. Ukrainian troops in Kursk reported capturing 102 Russian soldiers from 488th Motorized Regiment, including several TikTokers from Kadyrovite Spetsnaz Akhmat. The Russians chose to surrender after a company-size Russian position has been taken by the Ukrainian armed forces. The soldiers report that it was a well-equipped, fortified position with underground communications, bunkers, bath, canteen and ammo storage. Now, you probably remember the insane amount of Russian fakes regarding Ukrainian women and children in the trenches. Russian disinformation and conspiracies proved to be highly effective because human imagination is much more powerful than facts and proofs. However, one thing you may have probably noticed is that Russian disinformation tends to project their own crimes on their adversaries, accusing them in what the Russian terrorists are doing themselves. For example, these young Russian boys were captured over the first days of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Putin and all his propagandists claimed that they didn't involve young conscripts in what they called a special military operation. However, hundreds of captured Russian teenagers in uniforms proved it was a lie. Now, these guys, 18-21 years old, surrendered in Kursk Oblast of Russia. According to the Russian sources, they were ordered to deflect the Ukrainian attack together with the Kadyrovites, and it turned out that they got abandoned by their own command, who literally told them to fight until they die and not expect any reinforcement or evacuation. Unlike Ukrainian POWs in the Russian captivity, these guys received everything necessary from Ukraine, including access to the International Red Cross and other organizations protecting human rights. This is how reality looks like, my friends. Also, Kadyrovite command announced that no Chechens were captured in Kursk. Later, they changed their version and stated that Kadyrovites who surrendered to the Ukrainian armed forces could not be called Kadyrovites anymore. In order to debunk Kadyrovite bullshit, the command of the Ukrainian 225th Battalion published IDs of the captured Kadyrovite soldiers, including officers, just to remind them not to abandon their prisoners. And speaking of the abandoned Russians, the Ukrainian armed forces delivered humanitarian aid to the citizens of Sudzha, forgotten by the Putinist regime. These people hiding in the basements of Sudzha received vital provision and water from Ukrainians, and the reason they were hiding in the basements is pretty simple. According to those people, they were abandoned by the Russian authorities, and nobody even notified them about evacuation. Apparently, Russian terrorists are more concerned about kidnapping Ukrainian children from the Ukrainian territory than protecting their own citizens on the Russian territory. And this is something completely mental, my friends, but not as mental as the next one. The Ukrainian journalist interviewed a Russian prisoner, called his parents and showed him on camera. The Russian parents pretended they don't recognize him because apparently as soon as he got captured, they quickly pronounced him dead and received compensation from the Russian government.
Мне покажи просто его лицо и все.
Вот он сидит рядом.
Это не Рома.
Да это я, мам, это я, мам, я.
Это не Рома.
Да,
Пошел ты.
да я это... Татухи покажу, смотри. Смотри, татухи на мне, смотри, мои. Ну я.
Рома,
Па.
убирай.
Па, да
Рома,
я...
он лысый, убирай.
Смотри, на мизинце крест.
Сейчас же убери, это не Рома.
Да я это... Па, это...
Рома.
Па, да это я.
Полный, он Пухлый. Это не
Да это у меня костюм такой.
Ой.
Докажи, что ты Рома. Покажи мне наколки свои.
Не, ну раздеваться не надо, ютубчик этого не любит.
Вот.
Нет.
Си.
Нет, ты мне покажи свою правую руку, покажи.
Вот.
Это не Рома. Это не Рома. Ну что ты делаешь? Почему ты меня не слушаешь?
Да я.
No matter what this Russian man did, he showed his tattoos, and of course, he provided his phone number to the journalist because, majority of people usually keep the number of their parents in their memory. And generally, it's really hard not to recognize your own children unless the parents are completely blind and deaf. At the same time, these amazing Russian people don't really look blind or deaf to me, yet they refuse to recognize prisoned Russian soldier as their son. For a simple reason, according to the Russian law, monthly compensation for a dead Russian invader is worth approximately $246 US. I mean, a son that is alive and well is, of course, good news, but $200 is $200. Holy duck, I don't really know what else to say here, guys, because, sometimes when I think that I've seen the deepest bottom of human degradation, people like that just, suddenly knock from below. With that, my friends, I wish you a beautiful day. Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. I'm operator Starsky. As always, be safe.